And welcome to Newton High School tonight for tonight's boys basketball game of the week here on BT Broadcasting YouTube page. I'm Jordan Catelli alongside Brian Thomas. Welcome this evening to everyone to Newton High School for tonight's meeting between the Newton Braves, coming with a record of 4-19 on the season. They host the Parsippany Hills Vikings, who come in touting a record of 13-11 on the season, 5-4 in the NJAC Liberty Division. They are led by head coach Mike Herzenberg in his 10th year. Parsippany Hills coming off a loss yesterday to Montville, 66-61. Newton coming off their fourth win of the season against Morris Tech, 51-41. And that win against Morris Tech snapping a 13-game losing streak for the Braves, and the Braves look to finish the year on a high note. I'm going to bring my partner tonight, Brian Thomas. Brian, what do you expect to see tonight from both these teams?
Well, you got Parsippany Hills, which is looking forward to their state game that's coming up, which will be next week, and they've got a little bit of momentum coming in. They've just had a big week where they have one of their players, Julio Tatis, just scored 1,000 points on his couple games back. And Simeon Washington actually is 8 away tonight from his 1,000. So they're going to have a backcourt that's going to have over 2,000 points probably in the first or second quarter here tonight. So they're looking forward to that. And with Newton, they, as you mentioned, they have struggled a little bit. The main bright spot for them has been Max Maslowski, who had 41 last night, who had 32 the night before, and is averaging about 19 points a game. And so he's going to look to continue that streak here tonight. So look for Newton. This is going to be their last game of the year since they didn't make state. So look for them to come out and fight hard and try to put a scare into Par Hills.
We'll give you the starting five for both teams. As you see the Parsippany Hills Vikings getting announced. They're going to be led by guard junior number 5, Braylon Moore, the senior. Brian mentioned senior guard Julio Tatis. He scored his 1,000 point a week ago. Number 11, number 13, Joey Cicatelli, the junior guard. Number 22, junior guard Simeon Washington, and number 34, junior Chris Beecher. And for the Newton Braves, they're going to be led by number 30, Max Maslowski. Brian alluded to Max last night. He had over 40 points a night ago. He'll be joined by Jack Hunterton, number 33, number 34, Kevin Kozlowski, number 23, Demarius Posey, and number 21, Nick Kurilko in the backcourt for the Braves. So we'll take this time, we'll step aside and come back after the national anthem here at Newton High School. And we're back here at Newton High School as we get ready for the opening tip between the Parsippany Hills Vikings and the Newton Braves. Both teams in the huddle before taking the floor tonight. The Braves led by head coach Paul Filan in his second year with the Newton Braves, taking over for longtime tenure head coach Dirk Kelly at Newton. Mike Herzenberg in his 10th year with the Parsippany Hills Vikings. And Parsippany Hills going back to the state tournament. Mike Herzenberg has led this team back-to-back state tournament appearances for Parsippany Hills. They will be in action in the North 1 Group 3 state tournament bracket next Thursday, and they travel to number 6 seed Tenafly. The Vikings clinched the number 11 seed, and the winner of that one will get the winner of number 14 Bergenfield versus number 3 Wayne Valley. So both teams taking the floor. We get ready for the opening tip. Rich Beecher and Kevin Kozlowski to jump.
And both of these coaches, Jordan, are very accustomed to this gym. Coach Filan played here, was an excellent player for Dirk Kelly. And Coach Mike Herzenberg played here as well in the late 90s. Had some excellent teams that he was a part of. So he is back in his home gym. And it still lives around town here as well. So I know he's looking forward to getting back here tonight.
So we'll redo the opening tap, as we had a jump ball right off the opening tap. And this one controlled by the Vikings. Cicatelli with it. Nice feed to Beecher. He finishes in the game's first two. Belongs to the Vikings.
Par Hill's going to come up right away in a 1-2-2 full court press, try to disrupt this game immediately, which is what they like to do. Coach Herzenberg's all year, Jordan, talked about that their style is basically controlled chaos. That is when this team is at their best and their most comfortable and at their finest. So seeing them in a full court press is no surprise to start.
This is Jack Hunterdon with it for the Braves. To Posey. Parhill's in a 2-3 zone to start. They try to feed it down inside to Kozlowski. That just batted away by Cicatelli.
You can notice already Par Hills is very active in this 2-3 zone. They're not just sitting back. They are active. They get into passing lanes, trying to wreak havoc.
Newton having a tough time penetrating beyond the three-point line. Driving is Demarius Posey. His shot comes up short, rebounded Cicatelli. And the Vikings will swing it around here. Braylon Moore for 3, got it.
And Braylon Moore is an excellent shooter. They're going to have to get out and find him. If not, it's going to be a long night for Newton because he can do that all day long.
Newton breaks the press here this time. And we have a whistle. And last touch out of bounds off the Braves, and it's going to go up to Parsippany, and Par Hills with forcing the turnover.
And Par Hills is without a doubt, they're going to key in big time on Max Maslowski. Anytime he gets the basketball, they're going to look to converge on him, and their entire game plan here is to make somebody else beat them.
Tatis crosses the timeline with it for the Vikings.
Newton in a bit of a 1-2-2. It kind of morphs into a 3-2. There's another one.
Moore again from 3 off the mark. Getting the loose ball is Posey. Gives it up to Kirkillo, and it's knocked out of bounds. Nice help defense there by Julio Tatis. And it'll be Newton ball underneath. It'll be Jack Hunterdon inbound. Gets it down to Maslowski, and he gets it to go, and Newton's on the board.
And you can see just by that, when he just retrieved that ball, just his athletic ability is off the charts. He's got a number of dunks this year. He's an outstanding baseball player as well. So he can really get up and down the floor, and really, he's going to try to add to that excellent season he's had so far.
Cicatelli's pass deflected by Hunterdon, and it's going to stay here with Parsippany Hills. This is Tatis to Moore. Good ball movement here by the Vikings. Driving is Washington. They swing it back around. Ends up in the hands of Cicatelli, and he hits the corner 3.
That's pretty good defense, but what I'm impressed about, Jordan, that is excellent ball movement. I think everybody touched it. That was like a hot potato, man. They moved that ball quick, and they got a great shot out of it.
From one end of the court to the other in just a matter of 2 or 3 passes.
Got a piece.
Rebounded, possession kept alive there by Kozlowski. And a whistle and a foul, and it's going to go against the Braves.
And look, at this point in the year, that's what you want, any coach, but if you're Coach Herzenberg, this is what you want. You want them to be able to move the ball quickly. You know what your game plan is at this point. Don't let it stick. Move it and find the open shooters, and then we'll knock down shots.
Cicatelli Gives it to Washington. Ciccatelli drives, tries to give it back to Washington. Pass deflected, and Washington comes up short on the baseline. And the Braves push here in transition.
Keep in mind, Washington only 8 points away from that 1,000-point mark. We'll make sure we're tallying that.
Chris Beecher getting in the passing lane, forcing the turnover for the Vikings. Washington for three, off the mark. Rebounded by Hunterdon. Paul Filan calls out a set from the bench. Posey for three, off the mark. Ciccatelli with it in the outlet transition. And a nice finish there by Simeon Washington.
They've been excellent this year on the break. They find each other really well, and they finish really well. And you can see that already early from Parsippany Hills.
And you just see that quick, that defense, they're just surrounding you. You pick up your dribble if you're Newton, you're quickly surrounded by 2 or 3 Braves, and Coach Filan's going to take an early timeout here.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of athletes on that Par Hill side. You can tell already. They want to get up and down. They're long, they're quick, they're athletic, and they don't want to waste any time. But they're also, you know, as we've seen against this zone, they've been patient in addition to that. So, like, yeah, they want to push the pace, but they haven't really taken any bad shots yet. So they're more than happy to slow it down and make sure we move that basketball and try to get a good shot. I think that's what Coach Filan's probably talking about right now is, hey, first of all, we got to watch our passes. We're throwing the ball all over the place. They're getting their hands in the passing lane, so we got to do a much better job of coming to the basketball. We got to watch our passing angles, and then we could try to get better shots, because right now they haven't even gotten very many good shots at this point.
10-2 our score, 3:56 to play in the first quarter. Max Myslowski, no surprise, the lone contributor offensively for the Braves thus far. And Parsippany Hills will bring it across here for their next possession, and it's Ciccatelli with it here. We'll try to find Washington cutting baseline, but it's intercepted by Hunterdon. Hunterdon looking to push. His pass is intercepted by Ciccatelli. He comes the other way, 1-on-2, can't finish. But it ends up back in Ciccatelli's hands. Parsippany Hills works it out to Tatis, who took an extra step.
Nice job, Newton, there, but getting back on defense and then closing out on a shooter and forcing the turnover.
So Nick Vico will check in for Parsippany Hills. Julio Tatis will head to the bench. They found wide open Kozlowski. He finishes underneath. He got behind the Parsippany Hills defense and finishes for the easy 2. Cuts the Parsippany Hills lead to 6. Washington straightaway 3, got it.
You got to close out and find him. He's 3 away now from 1,000 points.
Myslowski can't finish. And a whistle and a foul underneath. And it'll go against Parsippany Hills. Charge it to Nick Vico, his first. And that'll send Nick Kurilko to the line for a pair.
That's what Newton has to do, Jordan. They got to continue to try to attack the basket. If they can get to the foul line, stop the clock, get some easy ones, they're going to make their lives a whole lot easier than just trying to rain it down from 3 against this team, against this zone.
Kurilko hits the first. Off the mark on the second, rebounded by Washington. Washington to Ciccarelli. Off the mark, rebounded by Kozlowski. And Newton will try to push here. It's Jack Hunterdon. Myslowski to Posey. Posey gets it back out to Hunterdon. Kozlowski drives baseline, tries to feed it back up top to Posey, but it goes too far. And out for a backcourt violation.
And that's what they're talking about. Coach Filan just talking about it again. We can't be floating passes against this zone. They're too athletic, they're too quick, and they get in those passing lanes too easily. We got to sharpen up our passing angles and the speed and strength of our passes.
See if they try to get it to Washington. Here's 3 away from 1,000. Ciccatelli fires the 3, got it. And it's the largest lead of the afternoon. It's 11 for Parsippany Hills.
Boy, they can shoot it though, man. They move it and they find that open man right away, and they've already got 3 or 4.
They're falling early from deep for Parsippany Hills.
They sure are.
Nice take there by Myslowski.
That's where he's at his best, is being aggressive and attacking that basket.
Ciccatelli goes through his hands, backcourt.
Nice job there by Posey of being aggressive defensively and causing that turnover. They're going to have to find a way to turn Parsippany Hills over and try to gain more possessions.
Tatis will head to the bench for the Vikings. Checking back in is Chris Beecher. And this is Jack Hunterton bringing it across for the Braves. You got Demarius Posey wide open on the left side of the floor if anybody can find him. Going up and getting it to fall underneath. Tough 2 there by Kirkillo.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job. They're moving the basketball, figuring out that offensive rebound and going right back up with it.
Washington for 3.
There it is.
His 1,000th career point. Comes on the road here at Newton.
And did it in beautiful fashion. He needed 3. And of course, getting that ball right on the right wing, he said, I'm just gonna take care of this right here. I'm not gonna bother going in for a layup. I'm gonna bang this 3, and here we are. Welcome to the 1,000-point club. It's an exciting accomplishment, certainly well-deserved. No matter where you get it, whether you get it at home, whether you get it on the road, man, it's a fun thing, not only for him, but for his teammates, for his coaches, especially for his family, as they're going to bring the poster out, and they got the balloons and everything.
The banner, they'll take the team photo.
And pretty cool stuff that you had Tatis get it just a week or 2 ago. So they've been able to do this little ceremony 2 times in the last couple of weeks. And that's pretty impressive. I mean, you don't usually have two boys or girls in the same class that gets 1,000 points. And when you do, that's something to cherish and something to behold.
The parents seem to know the drill. Everybody had their balloons,
That's
and everybody
right.
was on their marks for the in-game ceremony. So congratulations to Simeon Washington. And his 3 gives Par Hills a 19-9 advantage. Here's the 1.5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter.
And you know what? Oftentimes after you score that, you can see he's smiling, he's happy. I mean, it's a great moment, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has a great game now from here on out, because now all the pressure's off. He was probably thinking about it coming in. You just kind of want to get that monkey off your back, and now he can just play.
We'll keep an eye on him here. They've been falling from deep early.
Yeah.
Washington and Ciccatelli, they've had a couple from deep. Long 3 here, Myslowski off the mark. Rebounded by Tatis and knocked out of bounds, and will stay here with Par Hills.
Newton's got to find a way just to hang around here. You know, they're down 10, a little under a minute left. It's a big last minute. They don't want to be down 15. I mean, if they can end up finding a way to be down 8, 9, 10, that's a huge difference.
Nick Vico drives left side, kicks it back out, Ciccatelli, and an offensive foul on the senior.
Nice job by Newton of sacrificing their bodies. And that's what they need. They need those turnovers, need to draw those fouls so they can gain extra possessions and extra shots, because that's what Par Hills has done so far, is they've turned over Newton quite a bit, which has led to a lot of their threes.
Jack Hunter will bring it across here. Myslowski drives, and he's hit with the offensive foul, the charge on the other end.
Yeah, neither of them had very much doubt. Both charges, the right calls by the refs. Each player going in a little bit out of control, but again, give the defensive players credit for for sliding their bodies in and sacrificing their bodies, which is never an easy thing to do.
Secatelli here with it for the Vikings. Washington lets it fly again. Oh, halfway down and out. Loose ball. Who's got it? And we're going to have a tie up underneath.
Yeah, Washington almost had another one, didn't he?
Halfway down and out.
It sure was.
So with 28 seconds remaining, Newton will have it. Down 10. Could cut it to single digits with the basket here.
Got to look opposite.
Newton breaks the press to try to feed it down to Kozlowski underneath. And last touch off the Vikings, and it will stay with the Braves here with 17-9 on the clock.
Let's see if they can get a decent shot off here. I'm not sure if they're going to try to hold for the very last one, but the first available, which is what they're going to do.
Catch and shoot Kozlowski off the back iron. Rebound snatched down by Vico. Washington in transition here. Vico lets it fly for three.
Boy.
Got it. Catch and shoot.
That's a killer if you're Newton. Thought you played some pretty good defense. Oh, boy.
Vico. I think we have a foul and a foul on the shot.
That's correct. That's a disastrous final sequence for Newton. You thought maybe you were going to go in down 10. They come back, hit a three with maybe to add three more to that. So instead of 10, it could be 16.
It's the first, Brian, just what you said just not too long ago. You don't want to be down 15 heading into the second, and depending on how this looks.
Got to give Vico a ton of credit, not just hitting that three, but
great hustle play.
Yeah, not like giving up on the rest of the quarter.
Absolutely.
You know, he saw an opportunity and he went and stole that basketball and back on the foul line. Ooh.
Hits one of three to end the quarter, so it's a 23-9 Par Hills first quarter. We'll step aside, we'll come back. Second quarter action coming up here next from Newton right after this. Back here at Newton High School, start of the second quarter. 23-9, Parsippany Hills leading over the Braves. I'm Jordan Catelli, along with my partner Brian Thomas. Brian, tell the folks what's going on at BT Basketball nowadays.
We always got a lot of good stuff going on. You can go check out BrianThomasBasketball.com as Tatis lets a three fly. We got a President's Day shooting clinic coming up on President's Day, which is this coming Monday, as Washington adds to his game and career total. Literally all ages are welcome for our shooting clinic at Sparta High School this coming Monday from 1 to 3. And you can check that out at BrianThomasBasketball.com. We are also on Facebook and Instagram. And we want to give a shout out to both Newton and to Parsippany Hills for sponsoring this game tonight. We appreciate it. And we'll see what happens here in the second quarter, Jordan. Newton's got to come out strong, already down 16.
Tough sequence to end that first quarter. Washington gets a quick deuce to start the second quarter. Oh, sorry, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, that's disciplined offense right there by Parsippany Hills. They knew exactly what they wanted to run. They set the screens the right way. The ball handlers were in triple threat. They were patient. They were waiting for exactly what they needed and what they wanted. And they just a pinpoint pass and a perfect pass for a perfect layup. And Coach Violin wants to talk it over again. Like, look, guys, you know, we're already down 15 points, 16 points. This second quarter, if we want to keep this thing tight, make a run at it, we got to be more disciplined. We got to talk on those screens. You know, whether they're going to switch or not is something they're talking about right now, but they got to talk on them early, because otherwise, if you don't talk and you get caught, you're getting backdoored, and as we just saw, it's too late.
It's a 27-9 Par Hills lead, and 18-point advantage, the largest of the contest thus far. Tough ending for the first quarter for Newton. Parsippany Hills hit a 3, and then they gave up a quick turnover at the end there to the Vikings, and they were able to hit one of 3 at the line was Nick Vico. They fouled him in the dying seconds of the first quarter. So it'll be Max Maslowski to inbound underneath for the Braves here.
And Par Hill's going to keep coming with that 1-2-2. Why wouldn't you? It's been effective so far.
Goritsky checking in during that last timeout for the Braves. And getting the end one to go is Joey Cicatelli.
The Vikings are just relentless on that press. And Newton's got to just be more aware of taking care of that basketball. They're seeing where they're supposed to go. They just have to deliver that pass. Certainly easier said than done.
Cicatelli hits on the free throw.
And the lefty with the smooth stroke, which seems to always be the case with lefties, right?
You a lefty, Brian? Yeah,
I
right.
am not.
No? And we have a whistle and a foul underneath. Max Maslowski will head to the line for a pair. Maslowski hits the first.
Let's see if Newton changes things up a little bit. Maybe they'll come with a full court press here is my guess on a make, and here it comes. They're going to do a little 1-2-2 of their own, try to trap in the corners. Effective.
They forced the turnover. So it'll be coming back this way to the Braves.
I think they may have just surprised Par Hills a little bit since it was their first time going to it so far tonight. But the biggest issue is they got to handle this press of the Vikings, which has just been
suffocating.
Yeah, they've turned the ball over way too many times.
Get it back over. Dominic Selly checking in. Long corner 3. Goritsky can't get it to go.
Much better job of Newton, though, on that possession of breaking that press and finding the open man. If they could string a few more of those together with buckets, maybe Par Hills takes that press off.
Driving kick. Tatis, the corner 3, no good. Rebound snatched down by Cicatelli. This is Washington. Working on Selly. Kicks it over to the corner. And the 3 knocked down by senior Braylon Moore.
And that was all started by the quick first step of Simeon Washington and making a great decision knowing he didn't have anything underneath and finding his teammate wide open in the opposite corner.
Another turnover created by the Vikings and knocked out of bounds off Lattimore. Hunterton's pass deflected by Cicatelli. Gives it up to Tatis. He can't finish the basket. And it's Jack Hunterton pushing it back here for Newton. Tatis comes up with it for the Vikings. Gives to Cicatelli, and he finishes with the left hand. And this one deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with the Braves. Demarius Posey will check back in along with Nick Kurilko. Kozlowski and Hunterton will head to the bench.
The Braves understandably frustrated at this point, but they got to find a way to keep their cool and keep their emotions in check, even being down big with this press still on. And they got to try to improve upon some of these passes that they're making. They're just a little too loose and a little too careless, as you see, because Par Hills, man, they're so active defensively with those hands and those arms. They're always up in those passing lanes.
Demarius Posey. Nice find underneath. Kurilko can't finish. Put back by Goritsky, can't get it to go. Rebounded by Julio Tatis. And a foul underneath, charge to the Braves. Team's second team foul, nice find. Braylon Moore, but he can't finish. And he gets to put back and goes up and he's fouled. They'll head to the line for a pair.
Yeah, Braves got caught sleeping on that one. I don't know if they were quite ready for that possession, as I believe it was Tatis with a bullet all the way to the other side of the floor. And a nice job Moore, even though he missed that first one, of popping back up, getting that rebound, and finding himself on the free throw line.
And he hits on the first. Kai Moody checking in for Nick Kurilko for the Braves. As Moore hits a pair, 37-11, Parsippany Hills leads with 4:45 to play in this first half.
Par Hills takes the press off. They're going to sit into that 2-3, but again, active hands.
Cicatelli to Washington. Washington goes down, no call. Loose ball brought down by Posey.
And we are obviously not keeping this stat, but Jordan, if we were keeping just deflections for Par Hills, I mean, we're easily at 15 already for sure, if not more than that. That's not even just steals, but just getting hands on the basketball as Newton passes it.
Dominic Selly for three straight from the top of the key, no good. Look at this ball movement, outlet pass, three passes and a basket. Julio Tatis finishes on the other end, and a timeout Newton. Great outlet passing by the Vikings.
Yeah, without a doubt. You could see that ball getting up quick, but they already had their sights on the next pass that was coming up. And Tatis did a nice job of finishing that basketball. Parsippany Hills is rolling here today.
It's Par Hills team that clinched the 11th seed in North 1 Group 3. A team that got the 5 seed in the Morris County tournament. And they lost in the first round to number 12 seed Randolph, 68-56. Parsippany Hills will be looking to improve on that, get beyond the first round in the North 1 Group 3 state bracket.
Yeah, it's definitely a winnable game for them. And you know, obviously, you get to this point in the season, first round of the states. If you make states, you feel like you got a chance to win it. And you know, especially with the seniors that they have in that backcourt, you know, if you take
athleticism.
You take care of the basketball, and anything can happen in these state games if you're disciplined, which they can be. And they could certainly fill it up. I mean, there's 4:03 left in the second quarter. They got 39 points. So they're on pace for a monster offensive game here. And if you put a game like that together, you know, who knows? Maybe you walk out of there with a win.
Three put up by Selly, no good. Rebounded by Lattimore. And this is Tatis. Blown by Posey. His pass picked off by Myslowski. Myslowski in transition. Nice feed, Demarius Posey for two.
Beautiful feed by Max with the perfect bounce pass at the proper time. And not something, Jordan, we say very often, a perfectly executed 2-on-1. In today's day and age, it's usually a pull-up three or somebody tries to take it themselves, but a nice job by Newton on that possession.
Another pass deflected, broken up here. Washington, intercepted right back by Posey. Posey thought about the three, gives it up to Selly. Goritsky on the baseline, working on Lattimore. And Myslowski got it and one.
And that's what you got to do if you're Newton. You got to find a way to keep fighting. You got to get some dirty work points off of offensive rebounds, some steals, you know, to just try to start clawing your way back into this. But boy, into that first quarter is feeling massive now, right? The way that turned with that 4-point play, with the three and the free throw, really ballooned everything.
39-16 our score. And that one goes out of bounds and go back up to Newton.
Par Hill's doing an excellent job against that Newton press. They're just finding the guy who's wide open right in the middle or looking all the way up top. down the opposite end of the floor.
Kozlowski to Posey. Tried to give it back to him, but it was deflected there by Cicatelli. This length and athleticism of the Vikings, it's caused havoc,
no
caused
doubt.
problems. They're not getting high-quality opportunities, are the Braves.
They got to mix in some pass fakes. There's another one again.
Outlet Washington with the right hand, got it to go.
We're seeing so much of high passes, and that's where Par Hills is with their arms up. You know, if they fake high and go low, if they fake low and go high, it'll
bounce pass or something, yeah.
It'll change the narrative a little bit, but they're making the same pass, or almost like they're telegraphing, and there it is again.
Yep.
They're just floating them. Like I said, the angle's got to change, and the speed and the strength of these passes have to change as well.
Jack Hunter will check back in for the Braves. Under 2 to play here in the first half. This is Tatis. And a timeout called by Coach Herzenberg. Quick 30-second timeout here by the Vikings.
And you say, okay, why would he call a timeout? Well, again, you know, they got state games coming up. They got, you know, the biggest and most important games of the year. So, you know, you got to treat every possession, every game like you're trying to get better. You know, you want to make sure that your kids are being disciplined. So they're going to draw something up right here that they hope we're all on the same page. And who knows? Come next week with states, they may run this exact same play and it works, and they look back and say, hey, in that Newton game, we kind of mastered and perfected it, and that's why you would call a timeout up, you know, 25 with just a couple minutes left in the second quarter.
Draw up a set, try to get something going, yep. So it'll be Simeon Washington to inbound here, who's tallied his 1,000th point in the first quarter for his career, joining his teammate Julio Tatis, who eclipsed that mark a week ago. That's off the knee of Selly, play on. Max Kozlowski finishing with the right hand.
Nice shot by Newton mixing up their defense. They showed a man-to-man, but then went to a trap immediately upon that first pass.
Julio Tatis.
It's just so tough to press this team because you got multiple guys that can handle the ball so effectively and with poise.
Nice cross-court pass. Nice find, Moore. Book it for 3.
Safe to say they're shooting it fairly well tonight, huh?
I would say so. And we have a whistle and kickball. We do. Not to be confused with the screeching of the sneaker on the floor.
That's right.
Kozlowski gives it up to Hunterdon. Coach Herzenberg was ready there for that pass on the Par Hills bench. Kozlowski off the window. And the Vikings will push once again. Cicatelli got it and won.
And that's one of those on defense that you either have to let it go or you have to foul harder. So, you know, not an intentional foul, not, you know, a two-handed push, but just enough so the player can't get the ball above their head for the opportunity for a three-point play. This happens so much in today's game where there's, you know, you're trying to block a shot and it ends up being more of a touch foul, but you don't have enough persistence or strength on that defensive, on the offensive player, and next thing you know, three-point opportunity.
Kozlowski checks back in for Newton. And Cicatelli gets a free throw to go and converts on the three-point play. It's a 29-point advantage for the Vikings. This is Dominic Selly. .15 seconds to play here in the opening half. Shot put up by Kai Moody, no good. Oh, a nice find to Vico, but he can't get it to go. Had it jarred out on his way up. And it'll be Par Hills inbound underneath with 6.2.
Watch Moore coming back in, and Tatis about to get a double screen right here.
Tatis drives, has it stripped away, And firing the long three-quarter court heave is the Braves, and that'll fall harmlessly. And that'll bring the first half to an end. So it's been all Parsippany Hills through 2 quarters of play. 47-18 our score. We'll step aside, come back, second half action coming up here for Newton right after this. And we're back here at Newton High School. Start of the third quarter. 47-18 our score. It's been all Parsippany Hills from the opening tap. Jordan Catelli here, bringing my partner Brian Thomas. Brian, what's going on at BT basketball nowadays for you guys?
Yeah, we got a President's Day shooting clinic coming up this coming Monday over at Sparta High School from 1 to 3 p.m. in the afternoon. You can check out BrianThomasBasketball.com to register. We got all ages are welcome. Got the big, huge gym over at Sparta High School, so we can fit tons of kids in there, and we're excited about that. If you learn to shoot the basketball at an early age, you can build the foundation and be able to shoot it literally for the rest of your life. So make sure you check out BrianThomasBasketball.com, and we, of course, are on both Instagram and Facebook as well.
So back here at Newton, start of the third quarter, it's Braves ball. Jack Herndon started it out for the Braves. And Max Maslowski tried to get the first points of the second half of the Braves, but his effort no good. But the Braves will retain possession as his last touch off the Vikings.
But a nice drawn-up play by Coach at halftime of moving the basketball, setting the screens. They got what they wanted, happened to miss it, but that's what they need to do is, well, that's not what they need to do with the moving screen. But before that, they need to continue to just work on their screens, their passing. We talked about this a lot in the first half with the passing angles and the speed and strength of those passes. This is something we talk about, you know, at the younger ages, and you got to continue to build up to that. But now it really matters because, as you know, we saw in that end of that first quarter into that second quarter, if you're not taking care of the basketball, man, these teams will punish you, and you'll have a 10-point game. It'll go to 20-25 real quick.
Washington's three off the mark, rebounded by Tatis.
Wow.
And getting it to go is Cicatelli with the left.
Beautiful move by Cicatelli.
It's a 31-point Viking advantage.
Par Hill's going to go straight half-court man-to-man now.
Posey working on Cicatelli. Drives baseline. Bodies hit the deck, no call. Coming away with it is Julio Tatis. Washington in the corner for three. Got it.
And nice little no-look from Tatis. Those are two guys that have played together for a very long time, so you can see that chemistry. He saw him as he crossed half court, and he was patient enough, and then gave a quick look away. Washington knew it was coming to him that entire possession.
Maslowski tries to feed it into Herndon. Pass broken up by Moore. Tatis. Oh, he's denied by Maslowski. He tried to go up top. Herndon in transition has it knocked away from behind by Washington, and it'll stay here with the Braves. Herndon gets it into Kozlowski. Back to Maslowski at the top of the key. Max looking for somewhere to go with it. Finds it, gets in the hands of Herndon. Only for a moment as Herndon was tied up on the floor with Simeon Washington.
Those quick hands of Washington, if you put that ball out in front of you, it is in danger of being swiped. You got to really do a good job of protecting that basketball with your body because his anticipation is excellent and his hands are super quick.
Washington finds Tatis, kicks it back out. Three from Braylon Moore. Count it.
Coach Filing, just throw your hands up in the air. You're playing good defense, and it's just one of those nights for Par Hills where they're just hitting everything, it seems.
Curicillo drives baseline, gets it to go, and one.
And that started in the first quarter. I mean, they hit what, their first 3 threes of the game, and they were really off and running from there. I mean, they have to be up to, 7, 8, maybe 9 as a team already early in this third quarter. Sometimes one player gets hot and starts knocking them down, and then it gets contagious. And next thing you know, you got 3 or 4 guys that are hitting 2+ threes and just feeling good about it.
Parsippany Hills got off to a 23-9 start at the end of the first quarter, followed that up with a 24-9 second quarter. And they haven't looked back, and it's a 34-point advantage. as we have a foul on the drive here, and it'll stay Parsippany Hills ball underneath. Substitutions here for the Braves. Dominic Selly checking in, along with Koritsky.
Number 3, I believe, is Hunter Wolf. Just a freshman. My word.
Another 3 there by Braylon Moore.
Holy smokes. One of those days, as we said.
Dominic Selly gets it to go off the window.
Nice job using his left hand and protecting that ball with his body.
Tatis working on Selly.
Little 1-4 high set here.
Moore. Cicatelli. Cicatelli's effort off the back iron. Rebounded by the Braves. Perilko. This is Goritsky working on Beecher.
Got one ref had a travel, the other one had a foul call. Let's see which one is which. Looks like they're going to have the travel first.
And it'll go back to Parsippany Hills.
Which is the right call. He dragged that pivot foot just enough for the ref to see it going down the other way.
Washington left alone in the corner for 3. Got it.
Man, oh man.
It's been automatic from deep from everybody in white tonight.
Boy, Coach Herzenberg would love to bottle this up and take this to a state game, huh? Just this shooting percentage, how they're feeling offensively.
Hope it shows up next Thursday in Tenafly. And driving and drawing the foul is Dominic Selly. He'll head to the line for a pair with 3:40 to play in this third quarter.
Great job by Dominic of continuing to be aggressive and attack that basket, getting himself to the free throw line.
Selly hits the first.
And this Newton team they're graduating a handful of seniors, but they also have a lot of young players that are coming up. You know, some 8th, 9th, 10th graders that Coach Filan is excited about. So they, you know, Max Maslowski's coming back again next year for his senior season. So they're going to look to get a lot of off-season work in come this spring and summer to really try to improve upon this season going forward.
It's the Newton Braves team that's missed out on the state tournament each of the last 2 seasons. We last made it in 2022 as a 12 seed in North 1 Group 2. They lost to the number 5 seed Walko Valley Rangers 71-55. That was in the last year of Dirk Kelly's tenure here at the Braves. Maslowski turns it over. An outlet pass. Tatis gets it to go over the outstretched arm of Kai Moody.
Tatis plays with such control and such composure, but he's so quick and powerful at the same time. It's really a bit of a juxtaposition, you know?
Just forced the turnover there single-handedly on this end of the floor. Off the Beecher screen. Ooh, tried to give it to him. Maslowski's got in the way. And a whistle and a foul. They're going to get Beecher in the backcourt.
He's not even breathing heavy. It's like, it looks like he's not working hard, but he is. He's just a smooth basketball player to watch.
TJ Pauluziak checking in for the Vikings. As Tatis will head to the bench. So it'll be Hunter Wolf to inbound. Gets it into Maslowski, who gives it right back to Wolf. Selly, nice feed inside. Maslowski for 2. So perhaps Coach Herzenberg going to the reserves here late in this third quarter. State's on the horizon just a week from tonight.
Right, you don't want to get anybody hurt. You want to make sure you continue to stay in that rhythm without sacrificing any player. You got to have, when you're an 11 seed, I mean, look, shoot, when you're a 1 seed, but, you know, when you're an 11 seed, you're going to go on the road. You got to make sure that everybody's healthy as best you can and that you got a full squad that's on the same page and ready to go. So I'd imagine in this fourth quarter, we'll probably see plenty of reserves on both sides.
Kozlowski drives baseline with the right hand off the window.
You can see that athleticism on display there. He's got that quick first step, just takes a dribble or two, and explodes up, and then finishes with a little floating up and under.
And an off-ball foul. Offensive foul against the Vikings, and substitutions here for the Braves. So Jack Hunterin will check back in, along with Kevin Kozlowski. And Demarius Posey also coming back in for the Braves. This is Dominic Selly to Mislowski. Mislowski drives. Mislowski off the screen, kicks it back out. This is Posey. And Chris Beecher comes away with it, gets in the hand of the passing lane for the Vikings. Nick Vico pulls up a jumper, got it.
Yeah, it's frustrating if you're Newton. You feel like you had a pretty good possession where you're moving the basketball, your passing is a little bit better, and a quick turnover leads to literally a 5-second possession for the Vikings with a quick bucket.
This is Posey. Last touch off Parsippany Hills, and it'll stay with the Braves with 14-8 on the timer. Mislowski in the corner with it. Gives it up. Selly lets it fly for three. Off the mark. Rebounded by Paluziak. Lets it fly for three is Braylon Moore, and that's 1-3 that does not go down. There haven't been too many of those. At the end of three, it is a 67-28 Parsippany Hills advantage. We'll step aside, come back. Fourth quarter action from Newton High School right after this. And we're back here at Newton High School. Jordan Catelli here with you courtside with Brian Thomas of BT Basketball. Brian, you want to talk about the folks? About BT Basketball? President's Day shooting coming up.
Yeah, we do. President's Day shooting clinic coming up this coming Monday over at Sparta High School from 1 to 3 p.m. Literally all ages come on by. Begin to start. I mean, a lot of people are just starting their off-season work now. So it's going to be the beginning of your off-season work. Learn how to shoot that basketball in today's day and age, man. You better know how to shoot it. So check it out, BrianThomasBasketball.com. Check us out on Instagram and on Facebook as well. And also big thanks to both Parsippany Hills and Newton for sponsoring this game tonight.
And a turnover here, backcourt violation by the Braves. And we'll go back to the Vikings, who've put on an impressive outing tonight.
Yeah, really on both ends of the floor, too. I mean, early on, of course, they hit a handful of threes to get their game started. But I think, Jordan, what we were most impressed upon in the first quarter especially was their defense, was the amount of turnovers that they were able to create. And they were just in that 2-3 zone, but with their length, with their athleticism, and with their anticipation, that was really the difference in this game, is turning over the Newton Braves and then converting those into baskets and oftentimes threes.
Lattimore brings down the rebound, but he walked with it, took an extra step, and it'll stay here with the Braves. Parsippany Hills, they'll have another game next week in the state tournament, North 1 Group 3. They are the number 11 seed. They'll head to Tenafly next Thursday night. The Vikings will, and they'll look to better on their performance a year ago in the state tournament. They got knocked out last year in the first round to number 2 seed Teaneck, and Newton gets a basket to go there. Demarius Posey, credit with the 2. Mike Herzenberg certainly could not have drawn up a better performance on either end of the floor, certainly from deep and on the defensive end. And he hoped some of it can translate next week on the road in Tenafly. It'll be a big ask, much stiffer competition next weekend, or next Thursday, a week from tonight. And getting it to go off the window is Kozlowski for 2.
But this is the year that they've been building towards for a couple of years now, especially with these two guards between. Another 3 falls for Bar Hills.
Raheem Syed, from coming off the bench for 3. Everyone getting in on the action tonight for the Vikings.
But with some of these seniors, you know, you got Moore, you got Tatis, you got Cicatelli, and you got Washington especially. These guys are all seniors, been playing together for some time. And this is the year that they've been building towards, like, okay, this is going to be our shot to maybe do something a little bit special. You know, so them coming up with a big state game next week is the beginning of that. They've had a successful year so far, so now the question is, what can they do? Can they do some damage? And I think they can. And we've seen it here tonight. Their shooting ability, the way they play defense. If they come with this type of intensity, they can make a run.
Hunter Wolf, pull-up pop, 16-footer, off the mark. Rebounded by Lattimore. This is Paluziak, gives it up. Nick Vico, corner 3, no good. Put back, count it. Syed, the senior, off the bench.
He's coming in and hit 2 big shots already. The energy of that first crew has been contagious, so this second crew coming off the bench is still feeling the same.
Kozlowski pull up pop, long 2, no good, rebounded Paluziak. .440 to play here in the 4th. For the Newton Braves, this will be their final contest of the 2023-24 campaign. 3 put up, Paluziak off the mark.
You got a number of other local teams that'll be playing state games next week on the boys' side. Of course, you got Vernon, you got High Point, you got Lenape Valley will be playing a state game. And on the girls' side, you got Jefferson as a number 1 seed. Sparta girls will be back at it, trying to make a run off of their nice HWS run that they had.
Vernon boys in the final of the HWS.
Right.
Tomorrow night, Centenary, you'll be there.
I will be there. Pope John girls playing as well. Should be 2 pretty good games. Looking forward to that.
Connor Haley and the Vikings certainly playing their best basketball of the season.
Oh, yeah.
We've saw them a couple times here on BT Broadcasting over the season.
And they played an excellent game the other day against number 1 seed Phillipsburg that they pulled out right at the end with Ben Jurowitz with the big putback. Alex Fessel with a big 23-point performance. I think they got a real shot tomorrow night. As you mentioned, Jordan, they're playing their best basketball of the year. They beat West Milford this week. They beat Kinnelon this week.
Nick Vico hits the 2. 3.5 to play in the fourth quarter. Maslowski gives to Selly, and Selly finds the open Goritsky for the easy 2. Luziak coming up short with the right hand. Rebounded by Goritsky. Posey looking for somewhere to go with it. Cross-court pass to Selly. And Selly has a bang off of Nick Vico's leg. Look for a kickball, none coming. And instead it's a basket and a foul at the other end. And Nick Vico will head to the line for a chance at a 3-point play.
Yeah, the reason that was not a kickball is because, number one, the defensive player didn't raise their leg in an attempt to try to kick it. So the offensive player literally threw it right off of his leg. So in that instance, in that case, it's not actually a kickball.
So Vico hits on the free throw. And makes it a 3-point play, and it's a 43-point advantage here for Parsippany Hills. Wing 3 by Posey off the mark. Rebounded corralled by Jai Royal. Royal comes in off the bench, lets it fly from 3, short.
I mean, why not, right?
Absolutely. Dominic Selly drives, and they got the travel before the offensive foul.
I mean, the way they've been shooting it tonight, you kind of feel like you can shoot it from anywhere. In fact, right before the halftime ended, Coach Herzenberg grabbed a ball from about the bench where he's sitting and knocked down a 3 from there. So just kind of their night.
Let it fly.
Let it fly, baby.
Maslowski with a block. And I believe stepped out of bounds. And then we have a foul. It's going to go against Parsippany Hills.
Newton crowd was bummed by that foul. They saw Mad Max getting ready to come in for a high-flying dunk.
So instead, Max inbounders right in front of us. It's Demarius Posey bringing it across here for the Braves. Posey off the Maslowski screen. Nice find underneath. Unable to get it to go is Goritsky, rebounded by Nick Vico. Vico gives it up to Jai Royal, who's has his shot deflected out of bounds and will stay. It's going to go back up to Newton, pardon me.
Looks like they deflected it back off of Parsippany Hills.
Double deflection. Final 90 seconds to play here in Newton. Posey to Maslowski. Maslowski will be back next year for the Braves. We'll look to build around him. Certainly, if you're Coach Filan. And a foul here against Parsippany Hills. And that'll send Dominic Selly to the line for 2.
Rough way to go out, finishing your season off with the Newton Braves. That being said, you know, we talked about building a foundation for the future. I mean, this is a team and a program that is steeped in tradition. I mean, they've won a lot of games and a lot of big games for many, many years as their seniors get a well-deserved round of applause. And they'll be back. You know, every program goes through some dips and goes through some valleys at times. And this just happens to be one of those times for Coach Filan and the Newton Braves. But again, a proud and storied tradition they have here at Newton, and there's no doubt that they'll be back competing at the highest level.
So we approach the 1-minute mark here in Newton. Jai Royal drives and gets it to go for 2. Under a minute to play here for the Braves. This is Hunter Wolf. And Hunter Wolf gathers and gets it to go off the glass.
Nice chance for these young guys to get some varsity time, get a taste of it, start getting ready for next year.
Out of bounds, going back up to Newton. And Hunter Wolf will bring it across here for the Braves. Matt Alberto with it here. Wolf gives it up to Matthew Siegel. This is Kai Moody. And Matt Alberto can't get it to go. Rebounded by Raheem Syed, and that should do it. The final horn tonight, 81-40. Our final score, Par Hills over the Newton Braves. So we'll take this time, folks. We'll step aside. Brian Thomas is going to go get Mike Herzenberg and a couple of Parsippany Hills Vikings players for post-game reaction to tonight's victory over Newton, 81-40, our final score. We'll step aside, come back. Brian Thomas with Coach Herzenberg and the Vikings post-game coming up right after this.
All right, we are back here at Newton High School with Simeon Washington. First of all, congratulations on the big win.
Thank you.
And also congratulations on 1,000 points.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
thank
amazing to get it. So after a long career, you've worked your butt off, you've had a lot of success. Tell everybody how it feels to eclipse that 1,000-point mark.
I mean, to finally hit 1K, I mean, it just takes like a weight off my shoulder. So I know I'll be able to like pass the ball more, and when I get to the basket, you know, I'll just create more for my teammates. So when we go into the States game next week, I know we're gonna succeed. So I'm ready for that.
How about your chemistry between you and Tatis? I mean, I was watching a couple plays tonight, and you guys barely have to even look at each other. I mean, he found you on the one play in the corner where you knew when he was over here that he was going to pass you the basketball. So tell us about kind of the chemistry and how you guys have gotten to this point as well.
I mean, ever since he came here 8th grade year, he moved from PA. I mean, we've just been playing it together ever since. And, I mean, I just love him for that, man. I mean, he'll see me if he's open. I mean, he didn't score the ball much today, and I know he's mad about that. But, yeah, nah, he's a great teammate. I love him.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again, and good luck in the States. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Coach Hers. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Number one, when was that time you guys shot the ball like that?
That's been a long time coming for us. We've had a lot of up and down shooting nights. Usually one guy gets hot and then we have everyone else is cold, or never has it been like 4 or 5 guys shooting well. So that was welcome. I'll take that.
It was pretty impressive, but I think what was more impressive was your defense. I mean, just the athleticism and you guys having that length and hands in the passing lanes. I think that obviously combined with those 3-point shots was huge. So how do you feel now? You guys are getting ready for states. You guys are playing pretty well. You're going against a good Tenafly team. Give us kind of your assessment kind of going forward of how you guys think you can do in the states.
I think, we have such a senior-heavy group. They've been through a lot of battles. Our pressure is really our defense is our offense for the most part. I think we have good sets that we run in man and versus zone, but really we're most comfortable getting turnovers, getting out in the open floor, getting layups. Hopefully making the layups is nice too. But when we shoot like this, it looks prettier.
Well, I remember you talking about this, a couple of months back before the season even started, was controlled chaos.
Yep.
Right, and that's kind of what you guys specialize
Yeah.
in. Now, maybe the most important question, how does it feel to be back here? As a Newton grad, you had a ton of great memories here back in the late 90s with some excellent teams. It must always be special to come back and step foot into this gym.
We had a lot of great memories in this gym, and when I come back and I look at the pictures, it makes me realize I'm getting old. Because I do not look the same as my buddies here from those times. We don't look the same, so we have great memories of being here. And programs go through ups and downs. I know Coach Filan's working really hard with these guys, and I think he's going to turn around here. I love this town, and they're blue-collar hard workers. But it's always a pleasure to be here.
Awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thanks for doing it.
Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in once again, BT Broadcasting. Check out the next one right here on the BT Broadcasting YouTube channel. Have an excellent night.